Welcome to Beyond Sundays, a podcast from two friends trying to follow Jesus more closely. Odds are you won't always agree with us, and we'll stumble along the way, but we promise to be open and honest all the way through. I'm Matt, here with Hannah. We've got a website you can use to keep our show links and socials all in one place. Check out beyondsundays.pod.com. We're grateful for all of our listeners and genuinely thank you for fitting us into your busy life. You can help us grow the community by stopping what you're doing right now on the treadmill, doing dishes, driving. Well, don't stop while you're driving, but rate us and review us on Apple and Spotify. I know it seems silly, but it's that algorithm stuff is so important. It helps us out a lot. So if you enjoy what we're doing, help us grow by sharing those and reviewing us. We have the best community on the planet.
Absolutely.
How you doing?
Well, I'm a little frustrated because
on
my way back to work, we didn't have work yesterday. Thank you to all the veterans.
Yes.
So thankful for all they do. Shouts to them.
Absolutely.
But I am driving to work doing something I shouldn't, and I opened up my email. Shouldn't have done that. And I see that I have two $100 withdrawals and one $95 withdrawal for gift cards to Starbucks.
Whoa. Are you feeling generous? It is a season for giving.
No. So then I'm, of course, like trying to get through my Starbucks app and like figure all that stuff out. Like like I don't use Starbucks
while you're driving.
Really.
Good. So this is
and
like
I
a
shouldn't. It was a whole thing. It was
listen,
not.
We have all been there. We've all been there.
It wasn't a good situation. So I called Liam. I'm like, I need you to look at the bank account and just see, is this pulled out? So it did. So I spent the first 25 to 30 minutes of school today on the phone with someone from Starbucks. My frustration is, and this is, let me just give you an idea of how it ended up.
Yeah.
It looks like it's all been returned to my account.
Okay.
But in the process of this, those of you that know about Starbucks, you know, you have these cards that you can upload money to. And I deleted them on my way to school. I deleted one of them and I deleted the Venmo because it was pulling directly from my Venmo. That's how they were purchasing these things.
Okay.
And I deleted those. Well, when I get on the phone with this lady, she's like, well, you deleted one of those cards, so we don't have any way to get it. And I was like,
girl,
you mean to tell me $1 billion business that I deleted 30 minutes ago because of this, and that you guys can't access it? So I kind of went nice, Karen. I was very nice, Karen.
Okay.
But it has now been resolved.
Good.
But I was so frustrated because I feel like with some of these big corporate organizations, especially when it comes to like fast food.
Oh, sure.
They act like they care so much for the customer. And like I told them that, she was like, well, it's because of the verification. You can't verify the card. And I was like, well, you guys didn't care too much about verification when somebody hacked my account.
When you were taking money. Yeah.
When they were taking money from me. And now the customer is saying this is an issue. And so they told me one of the cards, they were going to give me the 95, but the 200, they would have to send it off. Well, I said, please, I said,
Good.
I tried to pull the heartstrings, was like, look, times are hard and I've got $295 out of my account. Some people can't even pay their bills right now. Please put that in the documentation. I said, please write that down so the next person that sees this understands I cannot afford to pay $295 to Starbucks because you guys somehow can't find the system. And I told them I deleted it. And now you're telling me you would delete this card to give me a new card anyway. You were going to do that too. So why does it matter I did it early? Long story short,
horrific situation.
It was a horrible situation to open my day with. But by the end, I think the issue is resolved. So in other words, I may be boycotting I told them that. I just want to delete my account. I may be boycotting Starbucks unless they want to sponsor us. Then I'll take it all back.
Did you drop 7 Brew on them? You just hit him with listen, there's other establishments in my community. 7 Brew looks pretty good.
7 Brew, Dutch Bros, or whatever. It's Dunkin'. We got other places.
Yeah. Oh. You're first of all, let me just say this. Every adult listener to Beyond Sundays just threw their hands up in despair, knowing what you've been through. You know it. Yes. You are such a small cog, and you are like legitimately a David and Goliath thing. You are a speck on the back of these billion-dollar businesses, and they don't care. No. I don't know if you know this or not. You're going to be shocked to this term if you don't know it. There is an actual academically studied. This issue that you're talking about right now is studied in colleges by organizational psychologists. There's a term for it. The term is called sludge.
What?
So the business just hit you with all of these barriers and all these hoops you got to jump through, and they put you on hold and they transfer you over here, and all that stuff is sludge. And it's so beautiful how you said it, because it's exactly the way they've studied it. They're not worried about all the sludge when they're getting you as a customer, but when they have to do something for you, my Lord, is there a waiting period and a holding period and a transaction thing? It's always like that.
Frustrating. And then when I first called, of course I call and you have to hit all these buttons to get through all these steps to get there.
Oh, sure.
And then there's no response and the phone won't work. And so I had to call back again. And I kept trying to remind myself, like Liam says, the person that wins is the one that stays calm and firm. So I kept trying to stay very calm and very just firm. Like, I need to speak to someone that can resolve this issue. I need to speak to someone that can resolve. And then they do these nice things that aren't, they're just, I like I told the guy, I am so sorry. I know it's not your fault, but I'm very frustrated by this.
Sure.
But like, they're like, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, that's a good point. You don't think it's a good point.
Stop.
You don't care.
Stop. Yeah.
No,
stop, Jim from Starbucks. Get out of here.
Let me. Steve. Shout out Steve. Thank you.
Steve from Starbucks. Get out of here. Also, we know you're doing your job. I understand. And you're getting paid like $17 an hour. So sorry.
So we're so thankful for you, but still.
This is a free idea to every politician in America right now. If you will run a campaign that is anti-sludge for customers, you will get Republicans to vote for you. You will get Democrats to vote for you. You will get Martians to vote for you. The deer will come out of the forests to vote for you. I mean, everyone will be on board with that. So, politicians, if you need to score points, just be anti-sludge.
Yep. Sludge.
That's the word it's sludge, isn't it? But it's so true. It seems like such a non-academic term, but that's the terminology they use. It's hilarious.
I mean, phone place. That's why we
all of it.
Yeah. We won't wait on the phone. We'll just keep paying the money.
Terrible.
Not me. That's what they don't know, though. That's what they don't know. They don't know.
Oh man. Wait. So Hannah, lately on the Beyond Sundays podcast, I feel like it's been kind of heavy. And we've been doing some prayer stuff. We've been doing some mystical stuff. We've been doing some basically right down to the core of humanity. Do you make this choice or that choice? It's been heavy. So I want to lighten it up this week. We are going to do a draft episode. And for all the listeners out there, you'll just remember how bad I defeated Hannah on the last draft episode.
Not true.
And let me just say this too. Hannah and I played air hockey over the weekend at an event we were at, and I beat her. And I think it is the maddest I've ever seen Hannah get at me, which is, there was just like a little flash of severe anger when the game was over.
I didn't like it.
And I was like, whoa, listen, listeners, I want you to know, I did not gloat. I didn't say anything. I just put my puck down and I went away. And did I? I mean, do you feel like I did not rub it in your face?
But I'm a pretty good air hockey player.
You are.
Yeah.
It was good. Not quite as good as me, but it
was
good.
That was it just happened to be that way.
I just wanted to make sure I could keep podcasting with you. So I decided I wasn't going to gloat about that victory.
Whatever. It's almost worse that you didn't gloat.
Oh, okay. So next time I beat you, I'll let you.
No, I'm lying. I'm lying. Actually, I'm happy you did that.
Okay, so we're going to draft. This is the premise of what we're going to draft. We are going to assume that the characters in the Bible, people on the board, sure. Animals, potentially. You draft what you want to in the Bible. Oh yeah, Hannah, my draft board it's a little outrageous.
What?
Oh yeah. So we're going to draft a dinner party. The concept is you get to sit these entities down at dinner together, and you're going to have just a nice dinner party. You're out at a restaurant in a nice location, and you're going to sit, and these are the folks that you want to have dinner with. We've got some categories that I will get to in a minute that'll help us kind of give some organization to this draft. But Hannah, I feel like we do need to set the stage for our listeners. Okay, so you're at this dinner party, you're at this restaurant. Mm-hmm. Let's start with your likes, since we just got don't likes about Starbucks. When you're out to dinner, what do you want? What do you like? What do you like to see at a restaurant?
I like it to be the temperature to be nice. I don't want to sit by a door. That's a big thing. I want my cup to be refilled regularly, and I love to have bread at the table. Bread, preferably.
Yes,
that's important.
Or chips and salsa. Chips and salsa.
Or chips and salsa. That is very good. But there's those Texas Roadhouse, that bread.
I'm going to wholeheartedly retweet this, which is some kind of free appetizer. It doesn't have to be like fried pickles. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm okay ordering that. But the chips and salsa, the bread, that really just takes the experience up. Because here's me when I'm going to a restaurant. I'm hungry. So I'm there for the experience. experience. I'm there for the conversation. But I'm there to eat. And so
Yeah.
that if you can sit me down at a table where I can start eating, it's the whole thing is just going to be much better as I move along. I wholeheartedly agree with that. Do you have any don't likes about a
Mm.
restaurant situation? Things that you just really kind of irritate you?
I don't like when the waiter or waitress sits and talks for too long.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe how far on the same page we are.
I'm just like, I don't want to do the extra small talk. Like, I just want to enjoy what's happening. And I love when they're really nice, but I like when they come, they take care of it and they're quick. And then that's it. That's a
Correct.
preference of mine.
Take my order, smile at me, be nice. I will smile. I will be nice to you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's not that I hate you. I don't hate you, but I didn't invite you here to eat dinner with you. I don't need you to be the evening entertainment at my table. That's what I'm here
Exactly.
for. You know, I mean, so just take my order and go away. Wow, we're really on the same page.
On the same
Okay,
page here.
another don't like is I want you when I'm done with my food, just go ahead and bring me the check and
Oh,
let me decide how long I want to sit there afterwards. Because, sometimes you go to a dinner and you're really in a good conversation and you're not ready to leave yet. Well, that's fine. Sometimes, though, you're waiting like 15 minutes on the check and you're ready to go. I find that to be incredibly irritating. I want to make the choice.
same exact page as that. I just want it brought right out. I even like when you can pay on the little thing.
Ooh, at the table?
I do like that a lot. And whenever you can split it up, that makes me happy.
Mm,
I was trying to think if there's anything else. I like a booth better, but
I do
that's
too.
if it's a smaller group. Um,
I'm thinking my dinner party table from the Bible here. I'm thinking we're one of those like circular booths, where you're kind
mm,
of facing each other, you're in the corner. I feel
yeah.
like everybody can kind of talk. I also don't like a big dinner party. Once you get to like 12,
Yeah.
14, 16
Ooh,
people, at some point that's just not even like really what you're talking about is you're able to talk to three, four, five people at max, and
yeah.
then everybody else is just at a different event.
Over 10, I think is too much.
Yeah, I don't really like it very much.
Yeah, yeah. You want it to be more intimate, you have better conversation, and you can have whole group conversation. That's what's so
Correct.
good about that booth, too. You're all facing each other.
Yes. So this is our world. This is our
Of
restaurant.
course.
So these are our draft picks. These are people we want to talk to. We want to be
Mm-hmm.
spending time with these people. So, listeners, here's the deal. We are going to pick from one of four categories, and they do not have to we don't have to hit these categories in any kind of order. You can go to any category that you want and make your selection. The deal is, if you take a person in a particular category, I cannot take that person
Oh,
in that category.
no.
I also cannot take that person from a different category. So,
Oh,
listener, here's your categories. We have thinkers. Okay. These are the intellectuals of the Bible maybe they're here for debate or however you want to think about that. The storytellers of the Bible. Just sometimes at a dinner party, you just need the person with great stories that
you
can have the
do.
table laughing and engaged and interested. We have the peacemakers of the table. This category, I'm thinking like these are the listeners. This is really the heart of the table, kind of the glue that holds the group together. Everybody likes this person. This person has just like one of those soft, kind of engaging human beings. And then our fourth category is going to be wild cards, which means you can take this in any direction you want to. You can spice it up. You can throw in somebody that may not make sense for the rest of your party because, again, sometimes you're at a dinner and you need the person that's going to be a little wild over there on the side. And you just need the entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay, so thinkers, storytellers, peacemakers, and wild cards. And again, if I've got X person in storyteller and Hannah takes them in thinker, that person is off the board for me.
Dang. Okay.
So there's a little strategy to this, a little bit. You are the guest in the way that we're doing this. We, of course, co-host this together. I'm hosting
Sure.
this episode. You're also not quite as good as me at air
Whatever.
hockey. So, Hannah,
Whatever.
I'm going to gift you with the first choice. Make your
Okay.
pick in whatever category you want, and then
Oh,
tell us about
any
why you chose
category
the person.
first.
Any
Okay.
category you want, in any order.
Oh, gosh. I'm just so nervous because I'm scared you're going to take mine.
Oh, that's why I love the strategy of this.
I want to start. I want to start with peacemakers.
Okay, so
My
Hannah's
number
taking her
one,
peacemaker.
my number one in Peacemaker is Jonathan from.
Oh,
Did I take one?
he took a possibility of
Okay,
mine.
okay.
Yes.
Jonathan is my first one. I just find it so interesting his relationship with David and then also his relationship with his father. I feel like
Yes.
there was a lot of I'm sure some being torn between the two. You have your dad,
Oh my.
yeah, ruling the kingdom, and then he's trying to kill David. And so in chapter 19, you see that he warns David. He starts to talk to his father on David's behalf. Saul, he promises, hey, temporarily, I'm not going to hurt him. But Saul gets jealous again. So David flees. All this stuff goes on. And then David meets Jonathan, asks Saul, why do you want him dead? They create a plan. Jonathan makes a covenant with David. This friendship is so interesting to me. And I think there's so much value in friendship. And I think that in this story alone, Jonathan is trying to keep peace in something that is very, very chaotic. And so, one, I just want to hear the story. I want to hear how he handled it and what his thought process was. But it's clear that he was a man of high character. And that interests me.
I don't want to help you draft any because, I'm competitive and obviously the listeners are going to vote on this. But what an incredible person Jonathan was. And you're so right to highlight everything that you highlighted. But I'm just thinking fundamentally, this guy is the heir to the kingdom. And at some point, I think he knows that David has been anointed.
Yeah.
And he's still best friends with David. You know what I mean? Like, of all the personal loss that Jonathan is going to experience through that, he still loved David. I also agree with you. I think I don't know if he got along with his dad because I don't know if anybody got along with Saul, right? But he was at least that mediator, kind of go back and forth. I think Jonathan is a very strong pick for the table.
Yeah. It was a heavy job.
Yes. That's also why I wanted to do some of these categories because I think we can all think of like the Titanic figures of the Bible, the Moseses, the Davids, the Noahs. And I'm not saying those people won't come up because I think they probably will come up. But I liked this because it made me think of like some secondary characters in the Bible.
That's what I thought too.
But just because Jonathan doesn't get the shine that some of these other people did, what an incredible character.
Oh, yeah. And I think sometimes the secondary characters, I know sometimes I think we determine that people are primary characters and secondary characters in our life because they may not be the number one leader. And I feel like oftentimes it's the secondary, quote unquote, secondary that are doing the real work. Because without Jonathan, David may not have survived. And so this whole story may not have ended up the way that it did. Jonathan's role was huge.
Okay, great pick. Also, kind of crazy in the way that we set this up that Jonathan is the first pick in a draft. You know what I mean? Just kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Okay. All right. Well, you did take one of my possible peacemakers. So I want to be strategic about this. I think that there is an obvious pairing with Jonathan, and I don't really want you to get these two guys and pair them together because I think it would be like incredible dinner party stuff. So in my storyteller category, I'm going to pick David.
Okay.
I don't want you to have David and Jonathan at your table because, like, again,
they'd be the best of friends. Everyone would hang out with them.
Do you think that they'd be like so far into each other that they would just like ignore everybody? No. I think that they would be generous dinner guests.
I think so. I think they'd be the kind of friends, when you get two friends together and like their energy just rubs off on everybody else. I think that's what they'd be.
Good. I'm robbing your table of that. I'm taking David. Is David the most interesting life in the entire Bible? Maybe.
I feel like maybe he's the most detailed.
Okay.
Like, I think we get so much information. Maybe I'm wrong about saying, or maybe it really is that his life is so interesting. We know so much about it.
Well, I think there are some people in the Bible that have, that are involved with and take part in more miracles than David does. But that is so true. David, well, also, let me just say, we're also contractually obligated to say that David is a man after God's own heart. That just has to go back and forth. So who doesn't want that? But I just think it would be fascinating to hear David talk about the highs of his life, the Goliath, even the like shepherd stuff, sheep out on the field. I'd love to talk to him about he's writing psalm. Like what a eclectic, interesting guy. He's a warrior. He's a king. He's a poet. He's a songwriter. Like just an incredible guy. But then not only that, if the conversation takes a turn for, like the melancholy, David's got some super sad, messed up stories to tell. Bathsheba, his own son, right? Rebelling against him. I mean, the loss of Jonathan, right? So anyway, I'm drafting David. I think he's going to have some incredible stories to tell. And I think he can go either direction. He can go hype stories. He can go sad stories. So whatever that goes on my table, David's going to be able to take me there. Okay. Hannah, your second pick. Can I ask you this? Did you have David in any other category?
No.
You had him there. Okay.
No, right. I didn't.
You didn't have David on
I
your
didn't
list
have
at
David on
all?
my list. No.
Oh man, I'm gonna destroy you in this
I'm not
draft here.
saying that I didn't want David on that list.
Yeah,
I just was trying to think.
David
I,
was nowhere on your draft board at all.
this happened the last time. Of course, I would want David at the table, but when I'm thinking, you only get a limited number of people
Sure,
at your table. And so
sure.
when I start thinking through that, I'm like, okay, who would be the real interesting? I have two,
Okay,
maybe three that I'm really worried you're going to take.
okay.
And so
Well,
I'm
that's what you should be
trying,
drafting. Yeah.
I know I'm trying to really think which
Jonathan
one
was
I want to
high up
call
on my
out.
list on peacemakers. He's not my number one peacemaker, but he was high up on my list. That's a
Well,
great
and that
choice.
was the thing is when we were talking about peacemakers, if I was going to put someone in that category, I had to take him quick because I knew
There's
that he
not
would.
that many. It's a weird category. Yeah.
It's a different category, but it's an interesting category.
Yeah.
Um, I think, I think, oh, I think you may steal this one. That's why I'm like, I think I got to say it. I'm going to go with the storytellers.
Okay.
Both the ones I really want are under storytellers. I have to go with John. And so,
Okay.
did you have him?
I had John, like
Who
both
wrote the book?
disciple and revelator. You see,
Yeah.
I had him. I mean, you go, but I had him under peacemaker.
Oh,
I thought you
interesting.
could make the case he's the disciple Jesus loved,
I could
that
see
kind of
that.
thing. But yeah, but now he's off my list.
The
You got
reason
it.
I put him under storytellers is because of the vision and all this
Mm,
stuff that he was able to see and the way he was able to articulate it. And we went through a series in Revelation, and I don't know how much I don't know how I totally feel about this right now, but I don't want to see what you say. But I do think there were things that he saw, obviously, that he didn't understand, and he tried to
sure.
give words to it.
Hmm.
And maybe his words weren't accurate to what he was seeing just because he couldn't quite, not that it wasn't accurate, but I just think he uses such he just describes it in such a great story, the way that he puts it
Hmm.
out there. You have to be a good storyteller for that. Now, for me, that may be right up there on my number one, absolute number one that I would have at the table. We need to say though
Wow.
too, we can't have Jesus at the table.
Oh, I am so sorry. Yes, listeners, nobody can pick Jesus. You guys,
That's why
you
he
guys are
wasn't
probably listening to it's
first.
like we're 3 picks in and nobody's picked Jesus. What morons? But yeah, no, totally true. I just thought like the table against Jesus, like okay, let's close down the podcast. You've won. So
Yeah.
John would have been
Yeah.
your number one pick.
I just think the
Wow.
fact that he wrote Revelations is so interesting to me. And he was trusted, first of all, with that vision, and he was able to articulate the vision that was given. And that's just unbelievable. Also, okay, let me see if I'm right about this. He was the one that understood Jesus as fully God and fully human. I feel like he's the one that kind of articulated that. So I
Mhm.
would really want to pick his brain about what he was seeing and what he was understanding and how he felt during that time, because it would be such an eye-opening, just an awakening moment. So I'm curious about that. But that book of Revelation,
Mm.
it's so amazing to me. I just want to hear him tell it firsthand again. Like that's
Hmm.
what I want to hear. So that's why I picked him for storyteller.
That's a great one. To address what you said about the visions and revelation, and this is just how I think of it. I have no proof. The visions that he was shown, I think that all of those made sense to John so that he could write lucidly about them. I think
Okay.
if John had been shown visions that you and I might understand, like, I don't know, if you and I were writing Revelation now, maybe God sends a vision in like a pickup truck or an
Sure.
SUV. You know what I mean? Something that
Yeah.
we're familiar with. I just think John saw the visions that he was familiar with. And that's why sometimes they're kind of weird to us because that's not
Yeah.
the world we inhabit anymore. Does that make sense? I mean,
No,
I know what
it
you're
makes
saying
perfect
too.
sense. No, it makes perfect sense. I still find it so interesting. And I want to say this one thing.
Mm,
The fact that he was the disciple whom Jesus loved and is referred to that several times, there was an intimacy between himself
yeah.
and Jesus. And
Yeah.
so I would love to hear what he has to really say, just loosely talking about Jesus, not having to structure it in a written word, but just loosely talking about
Yeah.
Jesus as that friend. Like, what would he talk about the funny
What was
things
it?
that
What was
Jesus
he
did?
like?
What
Yeah.
was he
Yeah.
like? So
Yeah.
that's interesting to me.
Okay, another great pick, I have to say. You've also got a J thing going, Jonathan
I
John.
do. I do.
I don't know if you can go all the way down with that or not, probably not, but
Close. No.
okay. Uh mm, all right. John was in the peacemaker category. I feel like my peacemakers are safe, so I'm not going to go to that category.
Okay.
I'm trying to go to the categories I think you could steal somebody out of that I really want. So, speaking of pairs, I'm going to take Solomon and Thinker.
Oh, I have him.
And uh, well, after you take your Thinker, I will tell you somebody else I really thought about for a long time. But I like the David Solomon connection.
Yeah.
I think what we could get there is we could get some
Interesting.
stuff from the Bible that is not in the Bible. You know, like how is Solomon feeling when Absalom is rebelling? Solomon only kind of becomes a character when he's highlighted in the Bible. That the Old Testament is really like that a lot. We talked about that with Jonathan. He's not highlighted the whole time, but he lived a whole life,
Hmm.
right? So Solomon had all this existence before he became the ruler. And
Interesting.
again, I think it would be super interesting to hear about Solomon, just his story about like, getting the wisdom. But then, like, oh, can you imagine how fun it would be if you just took like the Ukraine war and you just put that conflict in front of Solomon, like, hey, what
Yeah.
would you do? And he
Yeah.
would just maybe have this way of thinking about it that no one else does. I think that would be incredible and interesting. And then again, I don't know if this is the theme I'm trying to do with my table or not on purpose. Solomon had huge highs, like riches and just all these people visiting and like, wow, this guy really has a stuff going on. And then Solomon had epic failures. And so again, sometimes when you're at dinner and it takes like a sad turn, like those conversations can be super
Oh, yeah.
meaningful. And so I've got David who's got sad stories. I've got Solomon who's got sad stories. They're literally father and son. So I love the pair. I'm going to put them together.
Okay. I have to say this about Solomon and what I'm mad about with your table is you have the guys that are the charismatic, just cool guys. I mean, Solomon, when you read specifically Ecclesiastes, and he talks about, there's nothing new under the sun, and nothing, he goes through all these things, nothing matters but God, and then gets to the part where he's like, well, that's why you just kind of got to have a good time in life. You kind of just
Mm,
have to enjoy things. And so it's like this guy holds all this wisdom, and
mm,
with all that wisdom, I think he would be the guy at the table just there to have a good time. But then my favorite kind of conversations, you just are having fun cutting up, but then it can take this deep turn and you can really dive into things, but then you can be silly and just loosey goosey. And yeah,
I mean,
you got,
underrated. He had 300 wives and 700
okay,
concubines too.
that's a little weird.
Yeah, we just need to talk about like the management, the scheduling, like what is going, what were
I'm
you
not sure he
thinking,
saw
dude?
all of them.
What
And
were
how is
you
that the wisest
thinking?
man in the world?
I don't know, but I was just reading Proverbs this morning, and I can't remember word for word what the scripture says, so I apologize to all of our listeners. I didn't write it down, but it was like a discontent wife is like trying to grab oil in your right hand. Like it's just gonna slide through. And I was like, look, if there's anybody in the world who knows that, it's the guy with 1,000 women in his life.
100%.
Insane, insane,
Yep.
insane, insane. Okay, so you've got peacemaker Jonathan, storyteller John. I've got storyteller David, thinker Solomon. So you need to take a thinker or a wild card.
Oh,
I can't
geez.
wait to see what you have for your wild cards.
Yeah. Okay. So wild card, did you go wild?
Oh, you know me.
I just took wild cards as the people that didn't fit.
Yeah, you could. I have some of those, and then I have some wild cards.
Gosh.
Yeah, you
Okay. I
should
have
be
to say
scared.
this.
You should be
I,
scared.
I, I really am. So I have a thinker, but I
Okay.
have another storyteller that I'm super interested in. So then I'm like,
You got your storytelling. Oh, unless you took that person in wild card just because.
I know that's where I'm curious because now I'm like,
I'll allow it.
hmm,
You do what you need to do.
okay, let me do thinker first. I will
Okay.
do thinker and then
Okay.
decide after that. So my thinker is Jeremiah.
Oh.
And the reason I feel that way is because his thinker to like being a thinker was more along the lines of this internal reflection all the time.
Okay.
He felt the message that he was preaching,
Mm.
and all of his writing really reveals a man that was like wrestling with his calling, with his suffering, and then also with his faithfulness to all of this.
Yes.
And so I'm really drawn to that sort of thing, this internal reflection and this idea of
Mm.
perseverance. And it's just, there's this depth to it.
Yeah.
And then I think it's, I say this as like it's an attractive thing and just a human to human to have somebody
Mm.
um, who is constantly working to improve, but is so devoted to something that even in that questioning, it doesn't change their devotion to what they know is truth. So
Yeah, that's really interesting.
I feel like Jeremiah really had that. Um, he was introspective, and I just think he was a very, very deep person.
Mm,
His whole message, it focused on that inner life. And it wasn't just about the laws and the rituals, especially in the Old Testament, you would think it would be. It was
sure.
more about that transformed heart. And I just think that stuff is awesome. So the only hesitation, and I'm not
Mm.
trying to give myself a dock myself down on this, but he's known as the weeping prophet. So I'm like,
Yeah, he's kind of a
hopefully
sad dude. Yeah.
he is, but these people all hated him. And so
Yeah.
for
Yeah. Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
persevere, like
Yeah.
Jonah would be somebody who's like, okay, you do not want him at the dinner table.
Jonah's
He's
not coming to my dinner.
he's
No.
a brat.
Yeah.
Jeremiah had to have some things to him um, that had more depth. So
I think he's
that's
just giving a human response to his
very human
environment.
response. Yeah.
And that is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'd be super interesting to know a man who these were his people. They were supposed to be God's followers. They're just not at all.
Yeah.
And he's got to face that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's the whole like, what was it like to be a prophet? How did you get how did you know what to write down? What was that like? That would all be very interesting.
Or what was it? And maybe I'm misunderstanding this, but I feel like what was it like being so introspective at that point when everything was so ritualistic?
Mm,
So
I
it
see what
must
you
have been
mean.
difficult.
Yeah, there was some depth to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Can I,
he is my thinker. Can you what?
okay. Can I know? Do you have other thinkers on your list
Do
that? Okay. Can when you? I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours.
Solomon was one of mine, and I'm
Okay.
disappointed I didn't get him. And then Luke was my other one,
Okay.
just because he was the physician, the historian. He's
Yeah.
research based.
Yeah.
What was yours?
I am so mad that Paul. I wanted to pick Paul so bad.
Paul is the one. He's who I want so bad.
Okay. I shouldn't have done that then. I also had Job as a thinker.
Yeah, I thought about him too.
I think some of those conversations that he has with his friends are they're like so existential and deep
Yeah.
in a place that we don't, to your point, this is such a great point from you. We don't really associate that as much with the Old Testament. That's more of like a Paul New Testament kind of thinking through things, but there are some real thinkers in the Old Testament. And then my last one, which probably I was never going to pick, but he's interesting, is Nicodemus.
Yeah, yeah.
That Pharisee and Sadducee, but he was
Yeah.
open. He came to Jesus. I think that was all interesting.
There's a good episode on The Chosen that has him in it.
Okay,
And it really
yeah.
puts it in perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only episode I've seen of it, but it's pretty
All
good.
right. I tell you what I'm going to do. I don't know if this is good for my draft or not, but you have your wild card left.
Mhm.
And so I have my peacemaker and my wild card. I am also going to say my wild card for last, just so that we can do it
Okay.
here in the same round. So my peacemaker is going to be one of my favorite characters in the entire Bible. I'm taking Ruth as a peacemaker.
Yeah, yeah. She's good.
I think she's soft. I think that she, as a person, like to be a Moabite and to choose to come back with Naomi and to not only, she's not just soft though. There's like some grit to her. You know what I
Yes.
mean? No, I'm going with you. Your God's going to be my God. Your people are going to be my people. And then for her to stick with it through going to the harvest fields of Boaz. But then obviously there's something likable about her that all of Boaz's workers and Boaz himself, I mean, the Moabites are like super mega enemies with Israel. And everybody's just like, oh, yeah, that's Ruth. We like her so much.
Yeah.
This is a key phrase to me that Boaz says, thank you for your kindness that you showed to Naomi. So who do I want at my table? I want somebody kind. I want somebody generous. I want somebody willing to listen. I also need a female at my table. So far, I got real bro energy going on. So I'm getting
Yeah.
a girl at my table. And so I pick Ruth as my peacemaker.
Yeah, I have a girl on my list, but unfortunately I
As
chose somebody
peacemaker?
else. Yeah. Yeah. I had oh, do you want me to tell you or no?
I can. Yeah. I'd like to tell you mine too.
Mine was Esther.
Okay. That's a really good one too.
Yeah. And I just think she is incredibly interesting and was very bold to
Yeah.
do what she did and to stand through all of that. Okay, who was your
Yeah.
other one?
Well, my other peacemaker, maybe this is the guy you should pick for your table, is Barnabas. He's
Yeah.
known as the son of encouragement. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have like Jeremiah and Barnabas down at one end of the table.
Yeah.
Maybe they kind of offset each other as far as the vibes go. Okay, so your peacemaker is Jonathan. Your storyteller is John. Your thinker is Jeremiah. My storyteller is David. My thinker is Solomon. My peacemaker is Ruth. You have a wild card. I have a wild card. You get the first wild card pick. You can
Okay,
do anything you want to do.
Let me think of my whole table again. Okay. I
Okay.
have Jonathan.
Jonathan,
I have
John,
John. I have Jeremiah.
Jeremiah. You probably need to go with a J here.
I know.
You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
This is hard.
It is so hard because I know who I really want at my table, but I have some wild cards. I'm just trying to think. You did a really good job forming the whole table. You thought about what the table was going to look like.
Well,
I
you
was
need different
thinking,
kinds of people. You can't have four
I
Hannahs. You
know.
can't have four Matts. You know what I mean?
I
You got to
was
have different people.
thinking, I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking more about who I just want to talk to.
Sure, 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 sure.
Um, okay, I'm gonna say just who I want.
All
This is
right.
who I want, but then I need to tell you who was on my list
Okay. After
after
I
you
pick
tell
mine.
me
Yeah,
yours.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I just have to go with Paul. I
Okay.
I don't think I could have a table without Paul on the list. And there's because for me, there's so much that I want to know and ask him about developing a church and what it's supposed to look like. I have so many questions, and I think I could bring him into our church or whatever church and just say, come in and like help us out, show us what to do.
Yep.
That's what I'm so interested in. He was able to articulate again that, oh, he's so good about this, that inner struggle. He could
Yes.
articulate things about the inside and your heart
Mm-hmm.
that no one else I feel like could.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was a part of my storytellers originally, but he's my wild card today.
Well, look, I think what else you get with Paul as far as wild card goes is he might just get into a debate with somebody.
I know. That'd
He
be kind of
loves a good
cool.
academic debate. Like Jeremiah
Smart.
brings something up, and Paul's like, "Well, actually, you know,
Yeah. And he knew both sides. I mean, he
he
was a
did,
Christian, but was
he did,
originally, a
yeah,
scholar and a theologian. And so I feel like you're getting a very rounded person, but somebody also that I feel like is carrying the conversation. And I love that. I love going into something and they carry it and we just talk and I can ask questions. So he's got to be
okay,
my wild card.
okay." Do you want me to pick and then we empty our wild cards out,
Yeah.
or do you?
Yeah.
There is no way you wrote down my pick, so
No.
let's do it. Give me the rest of your wild cards.
Okay. Moses, of
Okay,
course. I just think Moses is so cool.
he
Abraham.
was in my storyteller.
Okay, that would have been a good one.
Yeah.
Abraham, Eve. I'd like to talk with Eve. And then my real wild card, who I was really going to choose, was Mary, the mother of Jesus. I want
Mm.
to know what her experience was like with Jesus growing up. And she had to have been a phenomenal woman. So she was my top wild card.
Yeah, and there is not a ton of detail about her.
No.
There's like the really important thing she did towards the beginning of her life, give birth. And then there's like the yeah, no, no, no. Listen, he'll turn the water into wine, even when Jesus
Mm.
didn't want to. And then she shows up at the cross, and that's kind of all we get from her.
She's really the only one that could boss Jesus around. She's the
Ooh.
only one that had that. And one of my favorite things I've spoken on this is the best day for everybody else where Jesus died and was resurrected was the worst day.
Mm,
I would assume the worst day
mm,
of her life. It was her
mm.
son. She lost her son. It was a very dark day for her. And so that juxtaposition there, I think is so interesting.
That's good. Okay, so I had Moses and storytellers. I think
Okay.
just the plagues, the shining face, all the
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. 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 Yeah.
I had Enoch as a storyteller.
Okay.
Like he just didn't die. What was
Never
that like,
did. I
man?
want to know what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what happened there? You translated. What? Please walk me through it. Tell me more. Tell me
Where
more.
are you
Not,
right now?
yeah, what's happening? Book of Enoch, is that a thing? Like, is that real? I need to
Yeah.
know. Yeah. Okay. I had Noah as a storyteller
Mm,
because the ark. I just am drawn to that story because I'm like, man, that story is so insane to me.
yeah.
I had Adam as storyteller because
Yep.
let's find out this stuff from the beginning. Okay, so I'm not taking any of those people, even though those will all be really good for my table. All right, my other
Sure.
wild cards, I'm not taking John the Baptist. Just in terms of
Oh,
personality. Also, is he going to show up with a locust appetizer? You know what I mean?
he'd be
Like,
a grizzly bear like man.
is it going to be cray? Yeah, I like that. Okay, now's where I start. Oh, I also have Peter as wild card because I think that's a
I had
personality
Peter on
driven
mine
thing.
too.
Yeah. Okay, I had Michael the archangel as a wild card.
Mm.
I need to know what's going on there. Okay, so I'm not taking him either, which leaves me with Hannah. This is where I'm going to take the draft. Satan is my wild card.
Whoa.
He's coming to dinner. Lucifer, Ulslufa himself, the devil.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have David, I have Solomon, I have Ruth. This is the ultimate wild card. I don't know what he's going to say. I don't know if it's true. I can learn some things about the Bible you want to talk about like stuff that's in the Bible that is implied that we don't know. He is going to have a wealth of information about stuff that I don't know that is implied in the Bible, but is not there.
What a well-rounded table.
Did I just ruin my table though by picking literally the devil?
I don't think so. I know which table I would vote for.
Uh-oh.
If this is my thing. This is my thing. The people that I chose at my table are the people I would want to talk to more than anyone else besides Jesus, of course.
Sure.
But the well-roundedness of your table is excellent. Excellent.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I wish I had Paul instead of Solomon.
Really?
I feel like I'm too Old Testament. I'm David, I'm Solomon, I'm Ruth. I feel like I'm too Old
Okay.
Testament heavy. I would have liked to have balanced that with the New Testament. You also have to just to hype your table up. You have a lot of connection to Jesus in your
Yeah.
table. You've
I'm
got
very interested
John,
in
you've
that.
got Paul, right? So I need a little Jesus connection. Now I got the Jesus disconnect with Satan, but I do have it, right? There was interaction between
Yeah.
Jesus and Satan. I could ask him some stuff. So I would need like Satan to be chained up, like they just wheel him in, you know what I mean, in a oh shoot, what's the
A
thing
straight
called?
jacket.
Yes, in a straight jacket. I need some truth serum so I know what he's saying. So I need some controls on Satan,
Yeah.
like the Joker from the Batman movies. But yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, I take back what I say about your table. Because when I go through Jeremiah,
It's okay. Your
no,
initial
I take it back.
is mine.
No, Jeremiah, John, Paul, Jonathan. Who was my other one? Is it four? That's right.
Jonathan, John, Jeremiah, and Paul.
Jonathan, John, Jeremiah. Jonathan, John,
Yeah.
Jeremiah, Paul. I think that's far better. The only thing I am
I have
missing is
way
a
better
woman.
stories.
The only thing I'm missing is a woman.
Well, I got Ruth. I got Ruth. I got great
Whatever.
stories. I got happiness. I got sadness. I literally have the devil. I have danger. I have intrigue. I have everything that you can have.
I don't know.
So,
I don't know if much can beat Paul.
listener, we need you to go to TikTok. We need you to go to Facebook. We need you to go to Twitter. We need you to go to Blue Sky. Interact with us somewhere on social media. And if you will email us a screenshot of following us on the social media, we will let your vote count for two. And that's we need you to vote for Hannah's table or we need you to vote for my table. So again, just one more time and then we'll wrap this up. Hannah's peacemaker is Jonathan, her storyteller is John, her thinker is Jeremiah, her wild card is Paul. My storyteller is David, my thinker is Solomon, my peacemaker is Ruth, and my wild card at dinner is Satan. We need you to vote for those things, vote between those two. And we didn't like make any kind of friendly wager or anything, but maybe we can figure it out on the next podcast. Somebody has to do something. Before
Good
we go
one.
though, Hannah, what did you take away from this conversation? This conversation was silly. It is one of those exercises that like is never going to happen, right? But what is there anything you took from this?
I think that there's a lot of value in, I hate to even say characters, but in the characters in the Bible. There's a lot to be learned and there's a lot of wisdom. I think lots of times we seek outside of the Word of God for wisdom. And I think a lot of it is right there. And there are a lot of people in the Word that are very relatable if we will dig for it.
That's mine too. I say this often, but I think that we have a tendency to make the people in the Bible into Sports Center highlight shows.
Yeah, yeah.
And instead of seeing the whole game, we see the best three plays in the game. And this really challenged me to think about these people as human beings. And we don't have all the answers to that. We don't know the ins and outs of their personality. We have no idea if any of these people were funny, for instance, anything like that. But I think there is value in these they're people.
Yeah.
Right. And they had to make choices and they were put in positions and they did things. And I think that we would do well to bear that in mind because I don't know if all the listeners realize like you and I do. We're also just people making choices,
just people
trying to do the right thing, trying to live for Jesus. So listeners, we want to thank you for joining us today. We always enjoy going beyond Sundays and hope that you enjoyed the conversation today. If you have any thoughts or comments about our topic today, please get on our social media and vote for Hannah's table or my table or anything else you'd like to say to us. Please reach out. Go to beyondsundayspods.com where you can reach us and find all our socials. And until next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you.